Hello YouTube, this is Asatsu5 and I got a knife review for you today. And this is over the Vipul Knives Keepel. Vipul being the company, Keepel being the model name. And just a little background on Vipul. It's actually a subdivision of Technocut, which is based out of Manigo, Italy. M-A-N-I-G-O, Manigo, I guess that's how you say it, Italy. And the Technocut is like a metal cutting. They use like tongue tied, but they cut metal. They basically like do machining and stuff, as far as I can tell. And the Vipul is the knife division where they just make knives. And I've handled a few other Vipul knives before, or actually I handled them after buying this knife. And I must say the quality is good on all of the knives that I've handled so far. And I've really enjoyed using this knife. How much did I enjoy using this knife? That much. You can tell a lot about a knife about its battle scars, and I can easily clean that with some Lidl fluid, but I thought I'd keep it on for the review. And you can probably tell that I've used this knife to open up a bunch of boxes, to break down a bunch of boxes, and to cut up a bunch of boxes. That's almost all I've used this knife for. And before I get way into the details of what I did with this knife, I want to go over the stats, just so you can get an idea of how big this knife is. Its overall length is 8.25 inches, and its blade length is 3.75 inches. Its blade thickness is 0.14 inches, and this is the interesting part to me. It's made out of N690 steel. Before this knife, I had no experience with N690. I've read about it, but I've never actually used it. And I must say, I'm very pleasantly surprised about N690 steel. It might be one of my favorite steels. They say it's a lot like VG10. Now, I can say that it has some VG10-like qualities. I broke down dozens of boxes with this. I mean, it was gummed up, glued up like this, and it was still taking hair. And I kept on using it until it stopped taking hair. And that now we're right here doing the review. But yeah, this knife took hair for a long time after I've used it, with all the glue on top of it and everything. And oops, sorry about that. But yeah, so this N690 is some pretty cool stuff. What category of knife would I put this in? It has some interesting lines to it. Definitely drop point with a swedge. The gold or quillions gives it a kind of an aggressive look to it. But it's not, to me, an aggressive knife. It's more of the EDC knife. An EDC knife with a little bit of flair to it, or class. I've tried opening this knife very quickly from the pocket, you know, trying to deploy it quickly to see how well it would work in a self-defense situation. And I had some issues getting it out of the pocket in an efficient manner. I don't know exactly what was going on, because my brother didn't seem to have any issues with it, but I think what was going on is it has this really thin pocket clip, and as you can see, it moves around. It's not really moving up here, it's just bending and flexing, and it kind of moves. And I think what was happening was I was pinching the pocket clip in my pants between the pocket clip and the handle scale, and I was snagging that way. But with a little bit of practice, I was actually able to wave this knife with this quillion and open the knife. but I just couldn't do it consistently enough where I'd feel safe carrying it as my primary self-defense tool. But there's some other ways you can open it. You don't have to wave it. You can use your thumb or finger to open it up slowly. Or you can use this back quillion right here and flick it out. Now, you can't use this as a flipper alone without any wrist action. It doesn't matter how hard you press this knife, it's not going to open all the way. But with a little bit of wrist action, you can get this knife flicked open, and it's pretty easy to use in that sense. The wood that this knife is made out of, let's see if I can say this without butchering the name, is a sandpaw wood. I don't know a whole lot about the wood. I think it comes from South America, and it's also very smooth. There's no real traction playing on it. Good news is, if you want this and you want it to be a little bit more tactical, you can get this knife in a micarta scale with either D2 or N690 steel blade, and I feel that one might be able to operate a little bit better as a tactical knife, micarta having a little bit more traction than this wood handle. They also make a fixed blade version of this knife. I don't know which version came out first, the photo or the fixed blade, but this is the Viper Keeper, and meet the Viper Fate. This is an awesome looking knife. I'm sure it would be a very good self-defense or fighting tool, but and it's also available with the well, that's actually Cocobolo wood, but it's available in micarta handle scales as well. I have no use for this knife, but it's definitely a pretty knife, and that's what drew me to this knife. Was its throwback to medieval cutlery, you know, the gold, the you know, the blade. It just looks nice. It looks nice. And to me, if you need a dress knife with a little bit of kick to it, this is a good way to go. And you can get this knife on KnifeWorks for $120.95, and let's see about Blade HQ. Blade HQ, you can get the micarta versions for $129, but they're out of stock right now, so you'll probably be best to go to KnifeWorks.com, which is probably one of my favorite knife websites to shop from. Well, that's it. That's the knife. As you can see, it got plenty of use, and I'm eventually going to clean this off and resharpen it and probably put it back into my EDC rotation. But it's a good knife. For some of you, it might be a little bit pricey, but I'm telling you, this N690 stuff is some pretty good steel, and I'm really happy with it. I hope y'all have a great day. I'm a Satsu 5, and I'm out.